Let me break this down for somebody. I know what I'm talking about. You may not have the best calculator, but if God gave you 10 fingers and 10 toes, you can make it happen. Somebody just missed that. We need to stop talking about it. Somebody saying, well, I don't have a computer in my house, but you got a mind with unlimited memory. So number one, you need to, and also the word stand firm. It also means to persevere. Somebody shout back, don't give up. Don't give up. Somebody shout back, don't give up. Don't give up. I was at a luncheon on Friday with Senator Harry Reid, and we were discussing some of the issues going on in our school district, and we were talking about the plight of our young men and how so many young men are walking away. They're walking in the opposite direction, and I'm just here to encourage somebody today, don't you give up. I don't care what everybody on your block is doing. I don't care what all your friends are doing. Don't you give up. I don't know who needs to hear this. If there's a young lady in the house, I don't care if you're pregnant right now. Don't you give up. Just because you got a baby right now does not mean your dreams have been destroyed. Am I talking right today? I'm trying to tell you, don't you give up on your dreams. Now you just got to work a little bit harder. Now that's why he gave you 2 arms, because now you got to hold the baby in one arm and the book in the other. But don't you give up. And I don't know if there's a young man that needs to hear this today, but don't you give up. Don't let friends laugh at you because you're working a little part-time job and they slanging this, that, and the other on the side. Don't you give up and do what everybody else is doing. Because what they're not telling you is that they get caught, or if you get caught, you're doing 3 to 5. Don't you give up on God. And guess what? Some things God does not want you to have right now. So don't let people mess with your mind. Act like you accept God. Touch somebody. Say, do you accept Him? Yes. Now, I know a lot of folk going to get a church answer and they're going to say, yes, they accept Him. But watch this. He's an all or nothing God. You can't. Sometimes we look kind of shady. You say you accept the Lord, but yet you still got Satan on your speed dial. You say you accept the Lord, but when He don't answer your prayers, you got a booty call with the devil. Can I preach today? Late in the midnight hour, the Lord didn't answer your prayer, but you waking up Satan. What you doing? You sleep? You still live in the same place? I'm about to come through. So number one, you got to act like you accept God. Well, how do I act like I accept God? Go down to verse 4. You got to act like you love God. The text says rejoice. Okay, I thought somebody was going to catch that. The text says rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. The word rejoice means be glad. It means to thrive. It means to be well. I'm about to mess somebody up because watch this. You can be sick and well at the same time. Somebody just missed that. Somebody just missed that. You can be broke and rich at the same time. Somebody just missed that. You can be homeless and have shelter at the same time. Somebody missed that. You cannot have food in your refrigerator but yet have a buffet at the same time. Am I talking to anybody? You can be alone. You can be without friends but yet not lonely at the same time. Am I talking to anybody? Let me talk to the single folk. You can be single and not desperate at the same time. Because He said rejoice. He said always be well. Always be glad. Stop quoting. Don't even quote this verse no more if you don't mean it. Stop telling folks all things work together for the good. You lying if you ain't rejoicing always. You lying. Stop using that verse. Use something else. When you say all things work together for the good, that means you want to invite me to your firing party. You want to invite me to your laid off party. Am I talking to anybody? Tyrone left you last week. Where we partying at? You said all things work together for the good. That way when child left, let's party. Hallelujah. My car broke down. Where you want me to meet you at? Because there's a party somewhere. Are y'all with me? He said, rejoice in the Lord always. Now watch this. I love the in the Lord part because watch this. When I rejoice in the Lord, when I'm in the Lord, that means the enemy can't touch me. That's right. Some folk can't worship because they try to do it outside of God. And that's why the enemy is so easy for the enemy to attack you, because you worshiping in self. You worshiping in what you got. You worshiping in your name. You worshiping in your account. You worshiping in your square footage. But when I get inside of Jesus, the enemy can't touch me. He can't take nothing from me. I can't hear you. I can't see you. Are y'all with me today? You got to act like you accept God. Number 2, you got to act like you love God. Number 3, I'm in verse 5. I'm walking through this text, y'all. Point number 3, you got to act like you feel God. Paul told the church at Philippi, he said, the Lord is near. See, watch this. Sometimes I can tell folk ain't never read this because we act like he's so far away. But the Lord is a very present help in time of trouble. Do you not know why you trying to fall out at the altar? He didn't work that thing out. Do you not understand that while you waiting, while you standing at the altar waiting on the oil to pour, he didn't answer your prayer? Because he is just that near. Let me say it a different way. Now, when I was in the world and I was waiting on folk to come get me, I would always be concerned about where you at. I'm on my way, but where you at? Tell me exactly where you at. Where you at? Where you at? Tell me what you, are you by McDonald's, Burger King? Where you at? I need to know. How far are you away? That's when I was dealing with folk. But now that I'm dealing with God, I don't need to know specifics. Just knowing he's near is enough for me. Because watch this, I don't need to know what street he's on because I know he's everywhere at the same. Let me talk to the young people for a second. Young people, touch somebody, say the Lord is near. See, some of y'all don't believe that. Because see, when you sit in your classroom acting a complete fool, you act like the Lord ain't near you. When you whispering to folk talking about stuff you ain't got no business talking to, you acting like the Lord ain't near you. Well, see, let me talk a different way. I love the fact that God has given us bionic skills as parents. That's why when you stump off into the room and you say something, we got that bionic power to hear what you're saying. Because the Lord is near. I don't care if you stomp in your room, you can turn the radio completely up, but when you start to whisper, I know she ain't cussing me out. Because the Lord is near. As a matter of fact, before you say it, when you think it, the Lord is already on top of your situation. You gotta act like the Lord is near at all times. Sometimes my parents would bust me and stuff, and I would go, how did they find out? I had covered all my tracks. I had sworn everybody to secrecy. I changed clothes 5 times, I wore gloves. How did they find me? I changed my shoes. I don't even have to say. I'm wearing 9.5. I'm wearing 12. How they find me? They didn't find me. God knew where I was. And God led them to where I was. Not sometime, every time. 16, my sweet 16, well, 16, I'm on punishment. Because I was trying to do something I had no business doing. 17 on punishment. I'm trying to do something I got no business doing. 18 on punishment. He's a consistent God. You want to mess up consistently? Yeah. He's consistent. I'm trying to bless 5 of y'all today. You got to remember the Lord is near. All the time. You want to walk up in stores? Oh, but they ain't got no metal detectors. I can steal what I want out of here. The Lord is the detector. The Lord sees everything. Well, mom ain't home. I can have company. The Lord in the house. The Lord in the house. And that's why when she walked in, I was like, wait a minute. Somebody done been in my house. Somebody done been in my house. I ain't got to look at nothing. The spirit of my house is wrong. Who you had up in my house?